Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Saturday, September the 21st, race number 11 at Parx. It's the Grade 1, $1 million Pennsylvania Derby. Let's throw up the field of three-year-olds getting set to go a mile and an eighth. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them and handicap along with us. And a big blow to this race, Mike, when maximum security was scratched, and it looks like he's out for the year.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he didn't make it here. I was looking forward to seeing him in another big race, but we're not going to get that. So we'll go with a field of six.
The field of six, it's likely that Bob Baffert's number 2, Improbable, is going to be the favorite, and Improbable could be the main speed. I'm going to disagree, respectfully disagree with our Timeform U.S. pace projector. We'll throw that up right now, and we have Improbable, the number 2 horse, sitting in third. And Mr. Money's a nice horse, and he's tactical. I just don't think that he's a speedster. And I think drawn outside of Improbable, Mike Smith really has only one way to go, and that's send Improbable, right?
Yeah, I think the pace, how the pace develops will be interesting, or one of the interesting things about this race, because all three of the favorites, the three biggest names in the race, they've all got speed. None of them necessarily want the lead, but any one of them could take it if they decided to.
One of the horses that would hope those three horses battle themselves into the ground is a long shot. That's the number 1, Math Wizard. Math Wizard, a good second behind a solid 3-year-old in Owendale in the Ohio Derby 3 starts back. Then ran third to Mr. Money in the Indiana Derby. Last time out in the West Virginia Derby, he just didn't fire. He's been a great $25,000 claim. They're taking another shot. Why not? They've made some money with this horse, but he has to improve.
Yeah, he does. I thought he's actually run well in some pretty big races since these connections have claimed him. Obviously, he didn't do that last time. That was a little disappointing, but he's better than that, that's for sure.
The 2, Improbable, is the answer to a kind of interesting trivia question of who was the favorite in this year's Kentucky Derby and Preakness Stakes. Well, it was Improbable, who was beaten in both of those races, and then Bob Baffert gave him a break. Baffert put blinkers back on for his first start off the layoff in the Shared Belief Stakes, and I thought it was just a great prep for this Pennsylvania Derby. It was only a 4-horse field. His major competition was stretching out around 2 turns for the first time, and as we turn into the stretch, Improbable went to the front, shrugged off his nearest pace pursuer, and it's off to the races for him. 104 Beyer speed figure. I have a feeling this colt grew up over the summertime. I think Mike Smith's going to send him. Of course, Baffert won this race last year with McKenzie and has a stellar record here.
Yeah, it's true. This horse, he ran well in this race, although he did have all the best of it. It does, I guess the interesting thing about him, as far as I'm concerned, is just to see if, he's going to be a horse who actually wants distance as time goes on. I feel like the mile that they cut him back to last time is actually perfect for him. Now he goes to 9 furlongs again as the favorite.
Big price on the 3, Shanghai, Superfly, a maiden after 8 lifetime starts. Big mid-race move last time out. Chalk Player's probably not very happy about that. He ended up finishing second behind a runaway winner in Air Attack. He just has to do a lot more.
Yeah, he's in over his head in this race.
War of Will is certainly not over his head. As you mentioned, Mike, he's got the tactical speed to do anything Tyler Gaffalione wants. You can put this horse on the lead, as you did last time out in the Jim Dandy. You could take him off and sit in that great pressing position that we saw so many times at the fairgrounds over the winter. I liked that they skipped the Travers with this horse. The Jim Dandy, you could maybe make an argument that the rail was not the place to be that day, and he ended up down there.
I would make that argument. The rail was not the place to be that day. And after he took over out of that first turn, he just wound up, he looked a little keen to me. He was on the rail pulling a little bit, and he just gave it up in the stretch. Not his best performance for sure, but there are excuses attached to it. He was also, way too wide in the Belmont Stakes. A lot of people talk about Tacitus, how wide he was on Belmont Day. This horse was as well, so he has an excuse for that race as well. There's just a lot of things to like about him, Dad. He fits really well in this race, and he might be the third choice.
I was just going to say that. He's dirtied up as the third choice in this race. We know he has all the class in the world, and we know he can get that trip. We saw in the Preakness, when he just sat in behind, the rail opened up, he shot on through. He is a very dangerous horse if he runs back to his best race. And you're right, might actually be the value play of the big 3. Spun to Run is no tomato can. He's won 3 out of his last 4 races and really likes Parx. He won the local prep, the Smarty Jones, with a career-best 97 Beyer speed figure, a figure that would put him in the mix, although he's stepping way up in class. Let's watch Spun to Run Smarty Jones. He's down towards the inside. Gray Magician on the outside looks like he has Spun to Run. Let's give Spun to Run some credit. He looks Gray Magician in the eye and say, not here. It's going to be me. Spun to Run winning the Smarty Jones.
Yeah, I like this horse. He's a real fighter. This isn't the first time that Spun to Run has done this, where it looked like, he was just going to give it up in the stretch, and he decided he's not going to do that. I don't think he can beat this field, Dan, but he's a really cool horse.
Let's turn to the stretch of the West Virginia Derby and take a look at the now horse, Mr. Money, the number 6, winning by open lengths as the odds-on favorite. Great tactical speed display. Just got a nice trip from Gabriel Saez, sitting off the leader and taking over at will. There's been a lot of turmoil within this 3-year-old division all season long. A lot of folks believe that Mr. Money could be that second-half 3-year-old that really takes the division by the horns. He's going to get the acid test against horses like War of Will and Improbable, but you can't knock what he's done in his last few races.
No, he's really an up-and-comer in this division right now, and it's time for them to take on the bigger horses. They're going to do that here, and he deserves the chance. He's run really well, Dan, ever since that Louisiana Derby, where it felt to me like he maybe didn't really want to go this far. He's really turned the corner over the summer. He's in great form right now. He's obviously a huge contender in this race.
He's been handled beautifully by Brett Calhoun. He breezed in 58 and change back on September the 5th, and it looks like this horse is sitting on go. Let's take a look at our top selections for this race. I landed on Mr. Money. I don't think he'll be on the lead, but I do think he'll be close. I love his tactical speed. I still think there's another forward move for him. I went 6 and 2. You're going with the Preakness winner, War of Will.
Yeah, I just feel like he makes sense in this race, and I think he might be the third choice in the race, and I'm not sure that he isn't the best of the 3. Well, I guess we'll find out more in this race. I'm going to take him as the third choice in this race. I went 4-2-6.
No maximum security in this year's Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. Still should be a barn burner of a race, with the Derby and Preakness favorite Improbable, the Preakness winner War of Will, and Mr. Money, who's bringing a 4-race win streak to the table. It's your DRFBets Saturday race of the day. It's the Grade 1 $1 million Pennsylvania Derby, and it has an approximate post of 5:48 Eastern. Good luck.